While the meter element is recommended for displaying a static value, the progress element is recommended for displaying a progress bar. Let's go ahead and make a working copy of progress.html. I'm going to rename this to be progress-working.html. I'll go ahead and open that, and you see up here at the top we have some JavaScript and a little bit of a style sheet for setting the width of the progress bar. And then down here we have the progress bar itself. The attributes of the progress bar are just as they are for the meter element. And we have the progress, the name of the tag. We have an ID here, which we're using to identify the element in our JavaScript. We have a value, we have a max. If it's not specified, the minimum is 0. And here we have the contents of the progress bar. This is what will display for browsers that don't support this feature. And currently this feature, as I'm recording this, is supported in the latest versions of all the major browsers except Internet Explorer. And I understand that the next version of Internet Explorer, which should be available a few months after I record this, it's supposed to support this feature. So this alternate content here, you'll notice it has a span with an ID because I'm actually updating this number as well in the JavaScript. So let's take a look at the JavaScript. Most of my JavaScript looks like this. I have window onload at the bottom. Window onload gets fired after everything is loaded up in your browser, and it calls init. And I put this at the bottom so that all of this stuff is already defined and I don't have any forward references in my code. And so it calls init up here, which basically just initializes these two variables, progress bar and text value. And it uses document get element by ID to load them with these elements. And so progress bar gets loaded with the progress bar element, and the text value gets loaded with this span element here so I can update that 0. And then it sets a timer to call update progress every 50 milliseconds. And update progress simply counts this value starting at 0, p-value starts at 0, and it increments it every time it's called. And if it's greater than 100, it resets it to 1, and then it updates the value of the progress bar and the content of text value. So let's look at this in the browser here. We're going to look at this in Firefox because it's supported in all the different browsers. And you see there's our progress bar counting from 0 to 100 over and over again. Now, here's an interesting thing about this. This will work exactly the same if I change progress to meter. Of course, meter isn't supported in Firefox, so we'll see our alternate content there. And I'm going to go ahead and take progress out of my style up here and just let the IDP1 be for either element. And so if I save this and open it up in Firefox, you'll notice that we just get that counting number because Firefox doesn't support the meter element. On the other hand, if I open this in Google Chrome, it works just fine and it just shows a meter element. So the only distinction between the meter element and the progress bar, at least from the visual standpoint, and I'm going to go ahead and put this back to the progress bar, and I'll reload it, and we see we have this progress bar with this little animated thing. I'm sure it has a different look in different operating systems. This is what it looks like on a Mac. So that's the only functional difference. The other difference is semantic. And again, HTML5 is all about semantics. At least it's very much about semantics. And so the semantics of the meter element is it's a value. And the semantics of the progress element is that it's progress. That doesn't mean that the meter element can't change, because obviously it can. But what it means is that it's not being used as a progress bar. And that semantic difference is going to, in some contexts, make a difference. So this is the progress element. And as of this recording, current versions of all the major browsers support the progress element except Microsoft Internet Explorer, although IE version 10, which should be out in the next few months as I'm recording this, is expected to support it.